let's get started. We will start on our back here with just a soft, opener. If you want to do a block supported position, you're more than welcome to. If you don't have props, a really good start is just knees open and arms to the back of the room resting on the floor. That's opening up so many muscles. It is helping the lymphatic system. And it is still, you're very productive physically, but also you have the opportunity to, in a sense, rest a little bit, okay? So best of both worlds there. So I'll show this. If you want to do block under your chest, that would be more, assertive here. Block under your head and chest. Let's just arrive into practice, okay? Close your eyes if you can. Get more comfortable. You fidget intentionally. Eventually you stop moving because you're in a nice comfortable form. Close your eyes. Start to feel the body. Step into that present moment. I said this in yoga earlier. I said we were doing a really strong class and I was like yelling. And I said, okay, wait, yoga's about being quiet and slow and mindful. And that's what we're kind of doing. We're creating those conditions. We're quieting the mind and the body. Slowing down so we can be mindful. Maybe you start to add a little breath practice here. So the abdominal breathing. Inhale, the abdomen kind of lifts and spreads. Slow exhale, the abdomen just kind of deflates and lowers. And you take a few more just like that. Smooth, calm, intentional breaths. So everyone's a regular. You know that you're supposed to make this your own. We work on being creative and artistic, but we're also kind of analytical and, so approaching this in almost a scientific way. So we do have the best of both sides of our brain there, and just try to notice where you're at more. Sometimes some of us are the more of that creative expression that we want to be a little bit more disciplined in our perception of ourselves. And then sometimes we're a little bit too much like that, kind of like being perfectionist about it. We want to be a little bit more light-minded, creative, and artistic. All right, yogis, you can use your hands to bring your knees together. You can use your hands to lift your head a little bit, use your arms to kind of sit up if you're on a block. Or we're all just going to meet on the back here with no props under us, okay? So this is one of my favorite ways to start here. It's just very therapeutic movements, very easy. I just start by bringing my knees into my chest, and you kind of scan through the major joints of your legs. Sometimes we do this in tabletop, where you kind of wiggle your toes, roll out your ankles, right? And then from there, you would kind of like bend and straighten your knee. These are all the joints of the leg. So if you stimulate joints, you stimulate all muscles, because muscles are designed to move and stabilize joints, move bone, right? And then I can circle a little bit here. Notice I'm doing the circle individually. So that's quite different. I've said this a lot, than drawing circles together. So that's the opposite direction. And then that last part would be this one, where the legs kind of move together. And that's going to be a little bit more of like a massage for the sacrum. So you know me, I'm all about therapeutics. I'm a massage therapist. I've had a massage every day the last 4 days, and I'm all about trying to add that a little bit more like self-care awareness
And massage is such a good way to like care for the body, right? Soothe it. All right, last little movement here. My feet go wide, my arms go wide, my knees are bent. And this is called the windshield wipe. Surprisingly, it's very different from those hip movements we've done so far. So there's that rotational quality of the biggest joint in the human body. This is a good thing to do today too, because we are going to do light rotational activators, kind of underdone a lot in fitness and in yoga. Last few here, yogis. And this is also a fantastic massage for more like, you know, the glutes, the piriformis. All right, now go slow. I'll keep moving forward here. We're gonna meet with our knees into our chest. Give it a little tighter squeeze. Maybe even, you know, wrap your forearms around, forehead to knees. You're kind of crunching up into the smallest ball possible. Okay, and then we'll kind of do the opposite. I kind of move through the body, you pace it out. I slowly reach my legs forward, and then I reach my arms back, full body stretch. You know, when we're standing, we do this all the time in yoga, we reach our arms to the sky. We also do like yoga squat and child pose, which that's what this is kind of representing, but here on our back. So good, yogis. All right. Now, next little thing here, I'll keep moving. The right knee comes into the chest. I'm going to continue to make it personal. You know, it might feel good to kind of open that hip a little bit. See how I just kind of open the hip? So the knee is relatively over the hip, and I'm just kind of opening it laterally. I'm not going to twist just yet. I can bring it across, but not too far. Just kind of get that outer hip a little. So I'm just like suggesting like a little movement right now. Okay. Sometimes we'll just hold right here, but I'm saying let's kind of be a little bit free today. All right, then you can release your right leg slowly. You know, that can be quite challenging on your core, so, you know, hug the abdomen in a little bit. The left knee comes in, give it a squeeze. And then, you know, like I said, I'm open the hip a little bit. Bring it neutral, open it. I'm bringing the knee maybe across a tiny bit. So it's almost like you're going into the single leg spinal twist, but maybe not all the way just yet. Last moment there. You know, we're just taking time in the beginning here to do some subtle things, all right? Sometimes we kind of jump right in a little bit faster. All right, yogi, so when you're done there, we're gonna meet and we will do our bridge pose, so something you're very familiar with, a fundamental yoga exercise here. Bridge movements, but still kind of pausing. If you want a little extra, block between your thighs, get those adductors working. Heels right underneath knees, arms down by side. Let's start with that pelvic tilt awareness. So my back is arched here naturally. I'm relaxing. There's a little arch in my back. To start, press that lower back down actively. So you're going to feel your abs engaged. Now, without using your feet, you are going to tilt the pelvis. So my feet are down, okay? But my lower back presses down at the same time. My hips, my pelvis hovers like an inch. Then from there, I will add that bridge by pressing down through my heel and my big toe. I slowly peel my lower middle back up. So I'm really breaking this down, yogis, in its parts. I pause at the top. I work on pressing the big toe down, pulling the heels to the shoulders. Lengthening my core, bringing my pubic bone more forward and up. And then after a little pause there, I mentioned massage, right? You massage the vertebral column down. My lower back, then my hips come down, and then I relax for a brief moment, letting my back arch in its neutral form. And then again, I articulate the curvature by pressing my lower back down. Without using my feet, using my core more, I tilt my pelvis, so it hovers at 1/4 inch. And then I press through those feet. So the question is, how detailed can you get in your awareness of how you're doing this? So it's not like power bridge. It's very detailed, subtle, bridge movements. And I'd like you to get into it, yogis. I'm going to stop talking, demoing, not distract you from the self-study. Concentrate, meditate, breathe.
You know, yogis, as you do this more and more, the layers keep peeling away. Think of every yoga pose like an onion. At first, you can only see the outside. So from a simple perspective, you think, okay, there's no layers. Then you peel away the layers and there's just more and more. And each layer has different experience and potential awareness. So try to notice that. I'm saying this from experience. I've been doing bridge for years, and the complexity and the majesty of it keeps revealing itself to me more and more. But you got to look, yogis. You got to keep persistently looking for more subtle awareness, because it's there. Once we get good at these kind of more what we call like phasic, like big body awareness of how we activate it and use it, we keep kind of like peel away the layers of subtle self-awareness, okay? All right, yogis. Your one round of bridge is done. You're going to eventually meet. You're going to give it a little shake. Now I am going to go into our first stretch twist, but I am going to move you, and then I'm going to hold you. These few things are classic, and then we're going to kind of switch gears. So my knees come into my chest, my hips scooch to the right, my knees fall to the left. To start, I'm actually going to roll onto my left. So, like if you're in bed, sometimes you might lay on your side. I do want to try to relax my head, or, if I have to, I could pad my head or put a block or a pillow, bolster there is really nice. Try to relax the neck a little bit here. My right arm is atop my left, and then big inhale, I start to roll onto my back. My right arm goes up, and then it goes open to the right, okay? Then I exhale, my right hand toward my left. I inhale with my core, up and open. You're massaging out the back of your shoulder here. So I'm sneaking in a full body massage for you. Well, almost. And then you're gonna inhale up and open. So it's hard to see sometimes, but you're basically like this on your side, and you're inhaling here. Exhale. We do this all the time here, right? It's the same exercise. All right, so go ahead. I'll get out of your way. I won't distract you. Concentrate, meditate. As you do this, work but be calm. Find that balance of active and passive. This is all a self-observation. We want to start to be able to look at ourselves, to study our inefficiencies. All right, if you want to hold the twist, go ahead. Yeah, I'm giving you a little extra time so you can go slow, and you're trying to get to maybe since it's a group of regulars, 9 to 15 rounds. We want to get into it, yogis. That's how we're going to get that change, that repetition. So you might hold the twist. Now your right arm is out. You might look to the right. Your left hand might go on your outer right thigh. And then now it really becomes even more of a breath meditation. So the body becomes still. If you want a little bit more, you actively reach your top knee over your bottom knee, so your shins and knees stack more. So as I reach right with the upper body and the core, my lower body reaches left. That's a more aggressive approach, okay? I'll let you decide if it's too much. All right, yogis, when you're done there, you gotta, take it slow. That's a lot. So you come back to center, you neutralize for a moment, you shake your legs out, you throw them up in the air, you wiggle them. So after we work, you kind of just give your body a little release, and then you're gonna roll onto your right. Your knees go right, your hips might scooch left. You want a really long spine. So,
if you don't scoot your hips to the opposite side, you can kind of be like this on your back. I want a nice, like, long, neutral core. So you're laying on your opposite side. The top arm starts, on top of the bottom arm, but then the inhale brings the top arm to the sky and then up and open away. And then you pause for a moment and then you exhale back. And then you go inside with your awareness. You study the biomusculoskeletal body, but you also study how movement and activation of the physical body relates to the mind and the emotions, the thoughts. And you go ahead and keep going, guys. Everything we've done so far is used in modern therapies. It's super good when modern and ancient modalities merge and agree. Often, sometimes in fitness, yoga is looked at as, being more like esoteric and not very like relative as far as like intelligent exercise, but that's not true. There's so many types of yoga, and often a lot of the modern modalities of self-maintenance is like yoga. So, go ahead, hold your twist when you're ready, no rush. So I remember seeing this biomechanic article about how basically we should dynamically rotate our spine every day, which means you move it through like this rotational quality where the vertebrae are rotating. Okay, dynamically means movement. They don't say hold a big rotation. The biomechanists, they say rotate it in movement every day. So you've noticed that since I've read that article a few years back, we've always now had rotation. I take these scientific studies and then I apply them to how we, teach our body, what the health. Okay, get out of there, guys. So this next thing is, your knees are together in both of those. Now I'm going to bring my feet. This is subtle, guys. I can bring my arms wide, get a little subtle release. My knees go together, my feet go together. So I do want to squeeze here. And then it's simple. I inhale, I let my knees go about 90% open. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. That is it. It is basically like a little like clamshell with your knees. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. But yogis, go open really slow. And then close a little bit faster and squeeze at the top. I want you to open your knees so slow you feel like shaking and awkwardness. That's the eccentric. Really good for strengthening. Go ahead. You're just opening your knees, closing. It's a really good one, actually. It's very subtle, but it's kind of like you go to the gym and you do like the adduction machine, like the Nautilus. You hook your thighs, your ankles on the inside, and you squeeze the weight together. Same thing, just done in a very gentle form. Okay, that's not the easiest thing to mimic. A lot of times we always do static. This is dynamic adduction. Excuse me. Here we go, guys. Let's go out of there. Shake it out. Just one round. All right. Now I do want to do my favorite gentle core abs. So here we go. The ball of my feet touch. Okay. My knees are over my hips. My arms are in the sky. They're called the gentle, the dead bug. My lower back has to press down. My lower back has to stay down. My lower back has to stay down. That's it. Everything else is secondary. Right leg goes forward, left arm goes back. Lower back actively flattens. And then I come back to center. And then you work. I'm disciplining the body awareness. I inhale, just like my bridge. I pause. I work, pressing my lower back down. And then I come back to neutral. Please continue. Go slow. The other arm does not move. The other leg does not move. One arm and one leg move. Yogis, it's not this. It's this. One part, it's very disciplined. Okay? I'm not going same side. It's opposite leg and arm. You see how my one arm and one leg don't move? The moving of the leg and the arm forward and back cause weight. It's called the lever or tension strength. So it's not really compression strength. It is a little bit in the lumbar arch, but it's tension strength through the front. The weight creates the muscle being pulled apart and it has to be strong, or the muscle line. Last few, yogis. That is such a good abdominal exercise. You know, if you have to pick one in the gentle form, it's probably it. You know, I've looked. It's just so good. It's hard to really, top that approach. So let's go, yogis. When you're done, take a little breather, neutralize. Okay, do a little happy baby if you want. Happy baby is kind of always a substitute for this. Apanasana, just knees into the chest. Okay, they're kind of the same, right? All right, yogis. So now you're going to be a little confused. You got to pay attention because I taught this yesterday to 30 people, and a lot of them we're doing what I said not to do. So listen, we're going to go right. We're going to roll back onto our side. Now I do need to pad the head. My bottom leg comes forward in front of me. My left leg is a little awkward. It just stays back and relaxes down. Now, this is an active lateral rotation. Remember I mentioned the infamous piriformis. Yes, infamous, not famous, the infamous. Rotator muscle that causes so many problems in so many people's bodies. The right knee is right out in front of me. So on my side, I'm like this. My bottom leg is in front of me. Now, what I'm going to do is isolate rotation in the hip. This is very important, yogis. Now, my right thigh is going to stay down. What I don't want to see is this, the whole thigh lifting. I want to be long through my body. I'm going to keep my outer right thigh down. My knee might hover. That's normal because the muscle is lifting the knee a little. But I want to flex my right foot and then rotate via the right hip, external rotation. The inner right foot and shin lift a little. Do you see? That's as far as I can get. And then I lower down about halfway, and then I do it again. So this is the action. Do you see how my right thigh does not move? It rotates, but it doesn't lift. It's very subtle, yogis. You got to get into this. You got to feel it. So one more demo, just in case you have trouble seeing it. I'm on my right side. My right leg is in front of me, and I'm just going like this. Come on, figure it out. It's a puzzle for the mind and body to figure out what I'm trying to instruct, what we're trying to do and achieve in the body. It takes a lot of what I keep saying, the word concentration. All right? Nice, Leslie. That's it. You're not going to get much movement. So we're not doing figure 4 stretch today. We're doing this instead. Okay? So it's one round, 12, 15 reps if you can. I just did a few. I can really feel it right here because that's the piriformis, the deep lateral rotators. You have like 6 of them. They're underneath the glutes, waiting to be trained more. Second side. Go ahead, roll onto your second side, your bottom knee goes here, and you're just going like this. Very subtle. The inner edge of the foot and the shin rotate kind of up and a little bit forward. That's it, yogis. Continue, close your eyes. Get in your body.
Sorry guys, my pup went downstairs. She's causing mischief. She likes my toothbrush, so she goes and finds my toothbrush, and that's her favorite little chew toy. The stinker. All right, so everyone feel that? That is the deep stabilizing muscles of your hip. Do that exercise regularly, okay? Get out of there, guys. Hopefully, you got a good feeling in both of those. That's all we're gonna do for that, okay? All right, so let's do our opposite. We're gonna roll right onto our chest. So you just turn over onto your chest. I wanna put these two together so we can see them clearly, that they're the two rotational qualities of our hip, okay? So you're gonna have to rest here, and you're gonna have to pad your knee most likely, because now the inner knee is gonna be down. I'm gonna bring my right knee wide. So you see that? You see the position, right? And now, in the first one I was here going like this. Now I'm gonna be here and I'm going like this. It's called internal rotation or medial. So I'm here. Now the key is I don't wanna like scrunch my side body. I wanna be nice and long through my core, nice and neutral. I do wanna flex my right foot. Now it's just this. Gentle yoga strengtheners. Super good, guys. Okay? I'm here. Do you see it? I don't want my leg too far down like this. See how much rotation I can get here? I want the knee wide so I can just get a little rotation. Notice I don't go all the way down. I'm flexing my foot. My leg's not out here. It's a 90-degree angle in the knee. Concentrate. Feel your body. Nice, Leslie. Nice, Kathy. That's the only two people I can see, so. So I want you to do about 12 to 15 till you feel it. That's right there. That's your main hip stabilizer, the glute medius, and it's rotational. We're always training the glutes in their phasic, big forms. I want you to get into those rotational qualities. All right, second side, yogis. So just to be clear, if you need a demo, you're like this. And you're going here. It's a very small movement. Just try to notice things like your spine is twisted and you're like this. You're just neutral like this. And you're just going like that. Go ahead. Get into it, yogis. Nice, Janet. Yeah, you lift and you hold for a second. Yeah, it's going to be awkward. So I mentioned that we're going to do some of these subtle strengtheners. We're going to do we're just going to hit your arms quick now, and then we're going to basically stand up into a balance, and then we're going to be nice and stretchy. So stay focused here, guys. Let's slowly come back down to neutral. What am I going to do? I'm going to rotate. I'm going to go like this. Loosen up those muscles that you just worked. I keep saying massage yourself. You got, yogis, the scientific studies out. Massage increases BAT. Brown adipose tissue, the healthy fat of the body, right? It turns white fat into what they call beige fat, where it starts to act like the brown. I can't get into too much of the science. Massage really good for you, okay? Do it a lot in yoga, use that floor. So I want to do our lower back strengthener. This is a very difficult place to strengthen on the average person. My hands slide near my lower back, like my ribs. See how they're down lower, not up here. They're here more, okay? Press the big toe, the pubic bone down. It's a little lift. I'm pulling the belly and the shoulders back and down. I lift that heart, and the lower back tightens. And then I lower down about halfway, and then I lift again.
Don't overstrain. Don't go too fast. Lower down about halfway. Lift. Have an experience. Close your eyes. We have all regulars today. I want you to practice closing your eyes and getting into the exercise. I'm right here, yogis. Just letting my little pup out. She's being very needy this morning. Come on. So there's your lower back from your rotators, right? So we did deep lateral rotators, medial rotators right through our lower back arch, okay? So take a moment, go slow. Now we're gonna do our shoulders. Last strengtheners of class. Lay on your chest, arms reach forward. Listen, forehead down, pull your belly in, activate your legs. Just hover your arms. 30-second hold. Hover your arms. Forehead down, pull your belly in, engage your legs. Hover those arms reaching forward. Gentle strengtheners. All right, big inhale. Listen, you did here. Watch me. Now bring your arms here. I'm not lifting anything else. I'm isolating the arms. My forehead is down. I'm engaging my legs. Now just lift your arms here. Just hold. Try to feel your back muscles, but bring your shoulders kind of back and down. Don't lift them to your ears. Go slow, lower down. Arms go down by side. I'm still just downward facing, engaging my thighs. Lift the arms back here. Try to squeeze them back together. This is probably the one that you're going to be able to lift the highest, right? Arms up and back behind you. Because there's less hyper range. With your arms wide and forward, you're already in like a hyper range. There's no hyper range in this one. Go slow, lower down. Last one, arms wide, but elbows bent. Rotational quality. Lift your arms, lift your hands higher than your arms. If you want to lift your chest too, I'll work that in there now. So it is more compound. My arms lift, bent, my hands go higher than my elbows. Last few breaths. Yogis, relax your shoulders back and down. Do not lift your traps. You're here on your chest. Man, that stretching is going to feel good today, all right? Big inhale. Lower down on that exhale. Nice job. Press to a child pose. Take a moment for yourself. Good job there. 4 shoulder strengtheners. Right? We did front, medial, posterior, and then rotational. Those are all the ways your shoulder works. There's more, but that's it in a nice kind of simple way. You got 3 delts and you got your rotator cuff. We just hit them all. All right, guys, let's rise up. Let's do a nice kind of free movement here. Good old cat-cow. But, you take your cat-cow. Let's loosen up that body. And then, you circle the core. You draw some circles. You want to loosen up a little bit here. Cat-cow is so fantastic. There's not many positions in the body where you can take weight off the spine and the core and move it so freely. Really, there is no place to do that. There's no equal. We can do a seated and standing and laying, and you don't get that type of position. It's a good thing to remember, yogis. There's really nothing to replace the good old cat-cow. Let's stretch in our down dog. I am gonna hold you about 30, 45 seconds. So it's not a super long hold, but not too quick. Let's get into our pass and stretch out those feet and toes. So make it feel good. Close your eyes and breathe. All right, yogis. I live right next to the fire station, so they're always driving by my house there. All right, take it down to the knees, yogis. Side stretch. So I do want to compress my ankles here. Sit on those heels if you're up for it. Just a quick stretch. The right arm goes up and over. So really big lateral body. Okay. You know, if you want to like bend your elbow, that tends to be a little bit bigger here. It's going to lengthen like the tricep more, which crosses the shoulder. Okay, right hand down, go ahead, second side. You can make it longer if you want, but I know it's tough to sit on the ankle. All right, so let's get to we're gonna do 2 stretches down here, and then we're going to stand up and do our quick balance, and then we'll close more meditative stretch like. So probably a good idea to have your box. Right foot steps forward, left knee goes back, and it's like they call it like a gentle lunge where you stay more supported. Now I don't want to be stuck down here necessarily. I want to walk those hands back a little bit and lift that heart a little bit more. Okay, I just send my hips down and I lift my chest. You're more than welcome to add on. Just try to press your big toes down. If you notice yourself going to the outer edge of your feet, lay down, lay down. So that's what we call the back bend of it. You notice that's really like a big stretch through your hip flexor. Let's do the opposite, the hamstring, but on the opposite leg. So these two go together a lot in yoga. We're kind of pushing it today. This is pretty big for gentle yoga. The front leg straightens, the hip shift back over the knee. So I was here, now I'm here, okay? Right hip back, you can bend your knee. It doesn't need to be straight. I lengthen my chest, I pull my right hip back, I press my feet down, maybe I forward fold a little bit. So this is our big hamstring stretch of class.
Breathe, yogis. It's called half splits or half pyramid. It's replacing like strap stretching, which we do on the back a lot. But remember, yogis, don't round your spine too much, okay? Because that's going to put strain through the lower back arch, and it's going to actually not stretch your hamstring as much. So try to just, lift up a little, even bend the knee a little bit, and lengthen the core, then forward. It's commonly, people always say this, like you have to straighten your knee to stretch your hamstring. It's just not true at all. You can bend your knee and get an insane hamstring stretch by anterior tilting and spinal extension, like kind of back bending. All right, let's slowly bend that front knee and shake it out. Not too long of a hold. So you might want to kind of throw the leg back and shake it out. If you want to do something like a vinyasa chaturanga, I'll skip that stuff today, but if you wanted to, by all means, I'll just mention it in case.
Now, this is the biggest back bend and forward bend of class. It starts with Anjaneyasana, it's called, or like a low runner's lunge with my front knee over my front heel. Now, what can happen is I get stuck here, and then I'm trying to get like here. I want to crawl the back knee back. So I want space between my leg, my upper leg bone, the femur. And I do want to crawl the blocks back so I can push down to lift up. Shoulders back and down, navel up. I think I saw a few of you add things, arms up or, anything like that. It's fine. Nice deep breathing though, right? These are basically, the two biggest stretches of class.
Close your eyes. Focus on the body, on the breath. Now that's mainly for your right hip flexor. I'm using it, even though you are getting a nice glute, which we've already done a ton, like knees into your chest on your back. And now we go for what's usually considered to be an antagonist muscle, opposite leg and opposite muscle group. Okay, so whenever you're done there, you straighten your front leg, shifting your hips back over your back knee. All right, and you got to take a moment to get into that. You kind of pull your left hip back and down, no rush. You flex that left foot a little bit more, lengthen your core and chest, and then you start to slowly forward fold. It's not about bringing your chest to your leg. It's more about creating a long spine and lifting your sit bones up and away from that front leg. So go ahead, no rush. You got plenty of time. I'm just reminding you. Even though it's stretching, there's still activity, guys, by pressing feet down, pelvic tilting. So left hip back and sit bones up, back and away. There's core, there's lengthening, shoulders back now. There's activity just as much as there's, creating length and being passive. This is big stretching. This is pushing gentle yoga for sure. Some people would say, of course, that's gentle yoga. You're on the knees, but this is big, 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 big stretching. So, don't take it lightly. Listen to your body, take time in between, and don't forget that stretching like this can make you sore. So, tomorrow you need therapeutics from your therapeutic class. All right. So it's always good to, do some light movements tomorrow, some foam rolling and restorative, or if you feel good, a good strengthening day. So, all right, guys, when you're done with your two biggest stretches there, take a moment, shake it out. I want to do one more big stretch here. It's for our feet and for our spine. So it's a symmetrical thing in the legs, but asymmetrical in the spine. So here we go. I keep moving forward, knees together, toes tucked. Here we go. Sit back on those heels. Nice simple twist. Left hand behind, right hand outside the left thigh. Gaze over your left shoulder. So we are stretching out those toes. We're here. Shoulders back and down, chest, heart lift. Now listen, yogis, stay twisting to the left. Just look over your right shoulder. So there's like two spinal twists. We do not switch sides. We are still twisting left, but now looking over the right shoulder. All right? And then you switch sides. Right hand behind, left hand outside the thigh. Look right behind you to the right shoulder. Now go slow, just look over your left shoulder. They call that the double helix, the double opposing twist. All right, go slow. Release, get off of those feet. Woo! That one will get you. All right, so we're gonna make a rep to standing. If you wanna do a down dog and walk your feet forward, you're more than welcome to, or we'll just slowly kind of bend the knees, step forward and stand up. I wanna loosen you up a little bit,
It's been quite a lot, you know, since cat-cow, it's been pretty static and you know, achy. So I like to do a little bit of this. Let's get a little bit of movement. Look at a little high knees. It's like my favorite warm-up. I pretty much do high knee every day. You know, if you want to shake your legs out, circle your arms, swivel your hips. We're not going to do like much of this stuff, but we do these in a lot of previous other classes. We only have about, you know, 10, 15 minutes left in class. So I want to bring you to your balance, take a break from stretching, tighten it up. All right. So when you're done with your movements, if you want a little extra arm strength, you can reach your arms up, left foot on the inner right shin. I tend to keep balance here in this class. I really want to work the integrity of the core and the posture. So I want to stand up, yogis, okay? More is here, easier is here. If it's easy, I want you to maybe work on kind of looking more up. So a kind of a bad habit, yogis, is always looking down. You know, your body's going to follow that pattern. You know, if you look down, your head starts to go like this, and your spine starts. Try to almost look up. Not like completely up, but just like you're looking up at, you know, the sunset in the distance on the ocean. You're kind of just barely looking up. And, you know, there's always more challenging variations, like holding the knee. There's more challenging variations of, well, let's just leave it there. They're not really gentle, okay? Big inhale, second side. Give it one of these in between. All right. Good old tree pose, yogis. Can't go wrong here. If you're good at it, you close your eyes. Nice, Leslie, using that wobble board. That's awesome. I've mentioned using this thing called a wobble board. Oh, there it is. We have two of them in the house. You know, they're awesome because like kids are just like naturally drawn to them. We like leave them just in the living room. You know, kids just step on them and they're just like, you know, they're just talking to you and you're on this thing. Let alone they're training their nervous system for, you know, biolocomotion. Like, you know, it's going to change like how they walk. It's going to change their posture, their brain function, and boom, you know, it's $20 on Amazon. I think this is the just the Amazon basics, right? And it's unreal. So that's the wobble board there, yogis. Okay. All right, guys. So get out of there nice and slow. Let's just do a little bit of neck and then the calves, and then we're pretty much going to take it down to the ground. That's all we're going to do for balance today. Shoulders back and down, crown lifts up, and just nice and slow circle the neck. This is like my main neck dynamic movement that I teach. You know, I read some stuff about how if you have a little bit of time, this is from it's like a chiropractic study that moving your neck here kind of takes care of all ranges of motion. It's kind of like moving your spine like this, or, you know, moving your hips like this. It basically covers so much so quickly. You know, you can't do everything every day, but if you have a limited time, it's hard to beat this one. It kind of wakes up the side of your joints, the front and back of your joints, the spinal joints, okay? And then you're going to reverse direction. So you're just basically up nice and tall, giving that neck a nice light movement. Thanks, Don. And since we got time, let's do one quick shoulder stretch now. You know, we did this stuff in like the active form, so I won't go there. I'm gonna do this one here. The right arm goes across. This is one I've been working in a little bit more. You know, we don't stretch like this as much in yoga. And it's very unique because it's that acromion deltoid, the outer shoulder. So I'm just bringing that right arm across, palm face back. I hook that opposite form, and I do activate that right elbow, and I pull the right shoulder back a little bit. Hopefully you feel a nice little stretch on that outer right shoulder area. It's a classic kind of fitness stretch, a fundamental shoulder opener. See that? There's so many ways to stretch your front shoulder and your back shoulder, but that lateral shoulder, it's interesting because it does that. So how do we strengthen? You can't stretch it by going like that, right? You got to bring it across the body. So second side. I also like to sometimes, like, you know, you grab something and you do it like this. You kind of like pull away. It's a nice way to get it too. But in yoga, we do it like that, right? So when you're done with your shoulders, you know, if you want to do your wrists, a little dynamic thing quick, I just kind of bring my arms forward and I just go forward and back, opening up those wrists. I first learned that like years ago. I was playing, you know, basketball young, and you know, you do this drill where you don't move your arm, you just dribble with just your wrist. And to free it up, we would do this and to make our wrists and forearms a lot stronger. And it's beautiful because we're always stretching like this, or we're static, but we don't move those wrists a lot. And it's really good to just kind of, you know, flex, extend, boom. You get all these huge muscles that run up and down the form, right? And you can see even my like, upper arm is working. All right, get out of there, yogis. Nice job. Final standing exercise, our calf raises. Heels down, heels lift, heels down, heels lift. If you want a little bit extra, outer edge of feet slightly, big toe down, heel lift. Outer edge of feet lightly down, big toe down, heels lift. Supination, pronation, extension. Supination, pronation, extension. Or inversion, pronation, plantar flexion. If none of that makes sense, just do calf raises. So to end class today, we're pretty much done. We did a lot of yoga on the back, we did some good stuff on the ground, and now we did our upright standing form. So you did your calf raises. If you want to make your way down to the ground by either touching your toes, you can widen your feet, or bring it into yoga squat, that's fine. Now to end practice today, we're going to do a breathing exercise. Kapalabhati is something I use in my own practice regularly, and I don't really teach enough. It's one of our main Shatkarmas and pranayama practices. The exhale. A lot of us are good at inhaling deep, but we don't exhale enough to cleanse the bottom of the lungs, to get all that stale air out of the lungs, making more room for fresh oxygen to the bloodstream. So go slow. Find a seated position. This is an exhale pumping breath, okay? So as I exhale, my inhale just happens naturally. It is a forced exhale. The abdomen strikes against the spine as I pump that exhale. So I sit up nice and tall, shoulders back and down. Relax your shoulders. I'll demonstrate quick. What I'm going to do is inhale full, exhale about halfway, and then I don't want to do it too stressful. I want to do it in a way where I can continue. I do want it to come from the depths of my abdomen and belly and lungs, okay? You're noticing I'm doing it out the mouth. That's beginner. Eventually, you do it out the nose. All right? They are actually different. Mouth is for lower chakras, nasals for like higher chakras, supposedly, right? So if you can do nose, do nose. Here we go. Big inhale. Now listen, exhale about halfway, and then out of your mouth, pump that exhale. Continue. So the inhale happens naturally. It's not Bhastrika. It's not this. Where inhale, exhale is pumping both. It's just exhale.
Okay, take a big inhale, relax your lungs. Now I said, if you can do it in your nose, do it, but really it's more like, okay, which chakra is blocked today? Okay, that's the Kapalabhati. Oh, my heart chakra, I feel sad. I gotta do my mouth, right? Oh, my mind, I'm stressed out up here, overthinking in here. Okay, then I gotta do my nose. All right, so go ahead. Second round, last round. Big inhale, please. Exhale halfway. I'm doing it out the nose. You'll notice it's more difficult to do it out the nose. Continue, please. Don't do it too stressful, yogis. Do it in a way where you can do it. The classic starts about 30 seconds to a minute. We do this like 12 minutes straight sometimes in yoga, right? So big inhale. Now, I'll give you the opportunity to sit and meditate unless you want to lay on your back. Final meditation. So that's called the nose one is the skull cleanser. They always call that the cleansing breath. You're kind of getting energy out of the body. Not only oxygen and carbon, but also attached to that prana is a lot of the emotional and thoughts. And all right, so final meditation here, yogis. Close your eyes, get comfortable. Surrender is the word here, and just be. Don't do a lot physically or breath or thoughts. Just exist in the space, allowing it all to settle and ground.